Greetings, champions, and welcome to Live with Shatufa. Scores of CIOs and police CID are under investigation for corruption and bribery. This is one thing that causes Zimbabwe to become the worst nation ever in the whole world. The worst economy with the worst currency, the worst managed country in the whole world because of things like this. When you begin to see those that should be custodians of the law being the ones who are in the forefront of breaking the law in the country, then it shows that we have a serious problem in the country. Mnangagwa has allowed Zimbabwe to degenerate to a place where nowadays, today as we speak, no one in Zimbabwe, no one in the security forces still wants to live a normal and straightforward life because of the hardships, the poverty, the underpayment, and the like. So many are now resorting to making money in other means, in other ways, which is quite very sad and very, very unfortunate. We have a report that indicates that there is quite a lot of this kind of stealing from the people of Zimbabwe that is being done by the people that are supposedly, custodians of the law. The Mira Mashingo reports that police is investigating 10 security agents, among them CIOs and cops who were on a spree arresting and demanding bribes from vendors and business operators. They arrested the suspects or impounded goods on the guys that they were smuggled. They then allegedly demanded bribes of up to $3,000 to drop the case and return goods. They are facing many cases, and in one of them, they received $760 bribe from an Ethiopian who they accused of traveling without proper documents and process and possessing smuggled goods. They went into shops, bought goods using Zig, and if the price was more than the bank rate, they would demand bribes. The accused are Hungwe Shatikobo, CIO, Tafadzwa Siwela, Batsirai Madongo, Takudzwa Vesha, and Daniel Chishapira, CID, Edias Mugabe, Police Intelligence, Mukamuri, ZIC, Mushonga, WNFP, and Assistant Inspector John Chinyani. The case came out when the victims said they had had enough and decided to report to Gokwe police officer in charge, who then sent a memo to the officer commanding migrants. Just imagine, we have been talking about these issues. We have been speaking about these issues where we were talking about Zimra and how Zimra is just stealing people's goods, just standing by the roads and confiscating people's groceries. You remember, we've had many shows talking about this. And now look, exactly what we were saying, that where are they taking these foodstuffs? Who are they giving these foodstuffs to? Is there accountability? Is there transparency in the way that they are doing things? Why not make people pay fines and give them back their foodstuffs? Why would you take the foodstuffs and not arrest the person who has committed a crime? If somebody commits a crime, they are supposed to be paying a fine or sent to court, and then they can have their goods given back to them. But you would find that this was just some kind of chicanery. This is quite a lot that is happening to the Zimbabwean people. Look at who is suffering. It is the poorest, the vendors, the people in the streets, the people with small businesses, the people that are doing cross-border. These are the most poorest of our community. And these are the people that are targeted. And Mnangagwa, they look like they don't even care about this. While all this is happening, Emerson Mnangagwa looks to the side. We have not had a comment from any ZANU-PF official, from any minister, from Mnangagwa himself as a president over the issue of Zimra and the complaints that we're hearing from many people of the mistreatment that is happening to the Zimbabwean people. And this is the Zimbabwe that Mnangagwa has created. And yet he continues to tell us that he wants to go to 2030. One would not even want to even imagine the kind of Zimbabwe that will be there if Mnangagwa would go to 2030 or 2033. You can just imagine Zimbabwe will shut down completely. Zimbabwe will close as a country. We are going to get to levels that we have never ever seen. But fortunately, Mnangagwa's plans are not going to pass. Whatever that he's planning in this season is not according to the will of God. So he may continue to tell himself that he can control times and seasons, but he can't. He can't control times and seasons. Times and seasons are controlled from the heavens. Times and seasons belong to the Lord. This is why we are saying, family, as intercessors, let's continue to pray for Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe needs you and me stand in the gap to pray, because what is really happening in Zimbabwe is more evil than it is politics. We are having the devil running the country, and we need to make sure that we dispose of him and his acolytes to make sure that Zimbabwe becomes free. Otherwise, Zimbabwean people will continue to suffer at the hands of a corrupt regime, a regime that is ruthless, that is destroying lives and does not care what is happening to the young people. Generations have been destroyed already as we speak. We have generations that have suffered, especially those that came after 2000, from 2000 and onwards. I'm telling you, most of those, they have had their, especially education, destroyed by ZANU-PF and Mnangagwa. And today we have Zimbabweans who are uneducated, dropouts from school who are huge numbers, people that could not, parents could not afford school fees, including those that are working. And we have had many of our young people in the streets. And many of our young people are just going to start this illegal mining and things like that with no education, no qualifications whatsoever. That reputation of saying Zimbabwean people are educated is already just a thing of the past. It ends with some generations that are back there. Maybe generations that finished school, tertiary, or university during the times of the 90s. But further than that, we no longer have any of such people anymore. And these are the last people that were really educated in numbers other than what we are seeing today. So this is very unfortunate, and this is very sad for Zimbabwe. Let's continue to pray for this nation. Zimbabwe needs God. Zimbabwe needs intervention of the heavens. Freedom for Zimbabwe is a priority that we are fighting for, and a looter until Zimbabwe is free. Remain blessed till we meet again in the upcoming shows.